Buongiorno a tutti.
Good morning. I would like to thank the Holy Father for having convened through the Pontifical Academy of Sciences and the Pontifical Academy of Social Sciences this international workshop involving us mayors on such urgent topics. I would like to express a very special word of thanks to His Excellency Monsignor Sorondo and to all of the experts who have convened here from all over the world. And I would like to pay tribute to those who have very bravely shared their personal experiences with us. It is very hard to speak after having heard Carla and Anna Laura. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Anna Laura, for having shared your wounds with us. We will all, I know, after having heard your words, strive even harder to combat this phenomenon. We know that lack of respect for the environment and fundamental human rights are seen often as serious problems, but we don't think they touch us. We don't think they are present in our cities and in our daily lives. That is not the case, and thanks to those who have spoken before me, we have had a very clear and tangible sign of the fact that slavery still exists, notwithstanding the fact that it is officially outlawed and punished in most countries. Many forms of slavery. 21st century slavery is a crime against humanity. Human rights are violated in such a way that a common approach is required. There are various forms of slavery. Slavery on account of poverty, forced labor, child soldiers, forced marriage, human trafficking involving especially children, sexual exploitation of children through prostitution, sale, and pornography. This is such a heinous crime that it calls to mind the words of the Gospel according to Matthew. But whoever shall offend one of these little ones who believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. These examples are only some of the many forms of modern slavery, and they are present in our society, not just in slums, in remote places. These examples are present everywhere in cities, including cities such as the city of Rome. In Rome, corrupt politicians and officials in the recent past have exploited the tragedy of migrants, making money on them, showing that they consider people, especially people in a state of need, as commodities, objects with a price. They used the poor instead of being of use to the poor, as Pope Francis said. Now, these perpetrators will be brought to justice, and the city is working in order to re-establish appropriate reception, humanity, and transparency in our social services. But today, I would like to talk about a different kind of slavery, as was mentioned in that handwritten note by Pope Francis. And this is something that harks back to my past experience before I became the Mayor of Rome. This is a form of injustice that demands urgent action, and I'm referring to trading of organs for transplant purposes. This is a very complex form of human trafficking, which is often very hard to identify and denounce, even though this is forbidden internationally. The greatest risk is that of thinking that this is only an urban myth, whereas organ trafficking is a secondary market only because it has not received sufficient attention. This is why developed as a form of organized crime. We know that there is an international trade of organs, both in the form of sale of organs on the part of adults, and also in the form of wealthy people who go to certain countries to obtain an illegal transplant on the basis of WHO. Most illegal transplants occur in China, India, and Pakistan, and concern especially kidneys that account for 75% of this illegal trafficking. There are 10,000 such illegal transplants around the world every year, over one every hour. Since we opened this meeting, at least one has taken place. The new frontier of Africa, where poverty drives people to turn to unscrupulous intermediaries. Obviously, only the poorest are the ones who are prepared to face the risk of surgery for money. However, those who commit this crime come from our continents, from all continents. In hospitals in different parts of the world where I worked as a transplant surgeon, I saw thousands of desperate patients. Some were about to die. Others had undergone years of dialysis, and after having been accepted on our waiting list, each of them would ask, when will my transplant take place? When will my organ be available? When will I live once again? Well, this anxiety can make people seek shortcuts, notwithstanding awareness of the medical risks and awareness of the immorality in ethical terms. But we know that personal needs of a patient can never justify the exploitation of another human being who's equally desperate and weaker because at an economic disadvantage. The decision to donate an organ, either as a living donation or after one's death, is certainly not something that can be commoditized. Donation while alive is something that is an extraordinary gesture, and its value is recognized by different religious faiths and the secular world. Notwithstanding the progress made by transplant surgery, there has not been an increase in the number of donations, and to offset this, some countries have made some rather debatable choices. There are some who say that selling organs is a way of reducing the waiting list for transplants. An example of this is the United States, where the scientific world, or part of this world, is proposing that this matter be discussed in Congress, considering this as a pragmatic approach for those who buy a kidney, who will be able to lead a normal life, not having to be enslaved to dialysis. This is considered by some as appropriate for those who sell an organ because they can pay their debts, help their families, maybe educate their child at university. But the sale of organs is never to be seen as a long-term way of ensuring emancipation from poverty. A study published in 2002 by the Journal of the American Medical Association shows that people who sell their kidneys suffer worsening of their general conditions. Out of 305 people who sold a kidney 6 years after this operation were worse off than before, and 75% of them were once again indebted. So this phenomenon can only be successfully stopped if we disincentivate the demand and establish conditions that can favor the emergence of the supply side system, even in the poorest countries. To act on the demand side means to severely punish those who buy organs illegally and those who assist them in the country of origin. Is to ensure that we cannot commodify any part of our human body. This is taboo, and this is why we're here together as faith leaders, as public officials. We have to change things. It is our duty as mayors. We have to work within our communities to reduce the vulnerability of people who are at risk of becoming victims of new forms of slavery. I know that today's meeting will bring to important conclusions and proposals, and this is why I hope that this is only the first of many such meetings. I would be honoured to be able to host in Rome in 2 years' time another meeting, so as to establish a constant exchange between those who promote projects for metropolitan policy that can ensure that we have an integral human and environmental ecology. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much. Thank you.